Hey, 29, that's great. Ivana, you want to start?
Yeah, but just a second. Sorry. Okay. Now I can see you again. Okay, we are all here. So welcome. My name is Ivana Paunovic. I'm psychologist, counselor, and a member of EAC governing board. I'm very pleased to welcome you all today to today's topic. As you, I suppose, know, frustration tolerance. And we will start from Dirk. We're going to hear more about frustration tolerance from him. So I'm very glad to hear from him. And after that, I will share some of my own views on the topic. So enjoy as I'm going to.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Ivana. So I just say a few sentences to myself. I'm Dirk Rohr. I'm president of the EAC at the moment. So this is my role, but today my role is like a presenter of this webinar. We started the webinar series in the Executive Council of EAC last year, and we want to continue. So if any one of you is interesting to hold in webinar, have some kind of expertise in something, you're welcome. Just email us, and then you will be the next presenter when we're interested in that. Today, Ivana and me, we are talking about our, let's say, favorite topics or whatever, so concerning this development of psychosocial. Okay, I have a PowerPoint presentation, and I will start it now. Just 1 second. Should be like this. And so if you, I don't know if your internet is good enough. So if not, you can switch off your video or whatever, because now just for, I don't know, like 10 minutes or 15 minutes, I have this presentation, and then we can get in some kind of discussion, or maybe you can first listen to Ivana and then have some discussions. Well, we will have a look. So we will just I think it would be good to have a little bit like dialogues. So if you have some question, you can even raise your hand, or just switch on your microphone and have and question. And so I would can you see, just give me like a thumb if you can see the PowerPoint presentation. It works. Okay, that's great. So the logo isn't very good quality, so I'm sorry for that. I should have a better one, but I didn't find it, so never mind. And of course, you can. I think I would like to say that the European Association for Counseling, we have a website, and now it's even in your language. You can choose language, so it's like translated. I don't know if you have seen it, so you can read it in your own language. Hopefully it's good translated then. I don't really know, but because of course we most speak English in our, let's say, meetings or whatever. So and we try. I would like to say just a few sentences to ESC, because we are trying. How can I say that? We're trying to organize a conference. No, we are organizing a conference, and we're trying to have it. But of course, you all know a COVID-19 situation. We don't know, but it will probably, whatever, be in Athens in June. So this is the plan right now. It should be last year, but so this is the big annual conference of the EAC, and would be glad. We would love to see you in Athens then, hopefully in June, or maybe a little bit later. So, okay, today I would like to talk about frustration tolerance, but a very specific field, because I will talk about Martimeo, what is a video-based counseling method. So I would try, because I think Martimeo is a very good method for very early training in frustration tolerance. So, and it's something between education and counseling, or we can counsel like parents, for example, or counselors in the field of education. So this is the title about the video-based counseling method, Martimeo, development of parents and children's psychosocial. And I have to say that I am not an expert and really expert in Martimeo, but I am like a critical friend, and I make some research on Martimeo. And my wife, for example, she's Mate Meo supervisor, and at our institute we have some training programs in Mate Meo. Maybe I will mention it later. Mate Meo is very structured. The first you are a Mate Meo practitioner. This is about a course like just like I don't know 7-8 times meetings, and you make trainings in videos of special situations, and then you're Mate Meo colleague trainer or Mate Meo therapist, and then Mate Meo supervisor, and then Mate Meo licensed supervisor. They can train supervisors. So this is the, let's say, the Mate Meo world somehow. But that's important to know. I am not a Mate Meo therapist. I'm a researcher on Mate Meo. So this is, maybe this is even better because I'm not too close to Mate Meo, and I can say this is very good in this model, and this is maybe, let's say, we can discuss some points. So first of all, because I think you're not very close to Mate Meo, so I will just invite a little bit Mate Meo, and then I will go in this research, and then we will look if you are interested in the research methods too, or we just like discuss Mate Meo.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Oh, that's great. Okay, let's go. Okay, Mate Meo is, of course, to achieve something by your own effort is the essence of Mate Meo. Mate Meo, this is like Maria Arts, we should say it in the beginning. Maria Arts is the founder of Mate Meo. And if you want to know, but Mate Meo International, if you Google, of course you can Google Mate Meo, and you will find Mate Meo International and Maria Arts, and you will find some interviews, for example. And for the German-speaking audience, there is, I did an interview with Maria, but this is in German, so you have to understand German if you want to listen to it. If you Google Dirk Rohr Mate Meo interview Maria Arts, you will find this in Mate Meo. It's very, very common in a lot of countries all over the world. In a lot of languages it's translated. So you will find probably something in Google in your language, whatever is your language. So the name of the video-based and consistently resource-oriented, this is very important, it's a very resource-oriented model communication program founded by Maria Arts, thus describes its central intention, helping people to help themselves. So this is because of that, I thought, okay, this fits to the topic of the webinar, frustration tolerance, because this is really like humanistic, it will come a little bit later, humanistic approach, like help people to help themselves. And Mate Meo, as you will see, is like we help for the parents to educate their children in the way of frustration tolerance. So this is how it fits to our webinar title. Oh, sorry. With the help of a model of beneficial interaction behavior, Mate Meo aims to support personal development. And by the way, I would just like to say we will give you the presentations if you want to. We will give it. We will send it to Brenda, and she will put it on the website. So, or maybe we can even put it in the chat afterwards, so that you have the presentations. So you don't. If you think it's interesting what are we talking about, and you don't want to write it down, we will just send it to you, and so then you can have a look afterwards. Okay. In this respect, it stands in tradition with the humanistic approach. I already said that because I am a Gestalt therapist. So I should have told this before. I'm a Gestalt therapist, and in Germany, it's very common to have trainings just specific to approaches. So Gestalt or person-centered or transactional or psychodynamics or whatever, or systemic. So I started with Gestalt therapy, and then I switched a little bit to systemic approach, and I'm a systemic supervisor and licensed supervisor. So I'm training systemic supervisors. So, but I'm very, maybe you've listened to the last webinar that was the title talking about feelings. And then I talked a lot about Gestalt and person-centered, about Rogers and Pearls. So this is very important. And I think Mate Meo is very close to a humanistic approach. And it's very interesting because there are not very much like articles about the theory of Mate Meo, because Maria Arts, she's very, let's say, practical. She's not, it's too hard to say she's not interested in theory. That's not true. but it comes from the practice about like counseling and education, and then she founded this model. And but if we like researchers look at Martimeau, we can see humanistic approach, we can see like even behavioral, because it's very structured, and you say it's like a little bit like normative. You say to the parents what they should do. So this is like an educational model. So this is a little bit like behavioral or whatever, like, and it's even like analysis of psychodynamic, because of course we are like watching at the early childhood. So this is very important, the early childhood. So, and on the like let's say the fourth approach, like the systemic, is very systemic, because we look at the systems, like the system, for example, mother and child, or father and child, or the family, or whatever. So we train, for example, the parents, or we train the educator of the kids. So just this for the beginning, it was founded with the aim of reducing symptomatology. However, we found that in practice, more Martimeau counselors aim for personal growth. This is the first result of our research. So we found in our research that in practice, more Martimeau counselors aim for personal growth. So this is a little bit, it is like developed in the field of special education, for example. So, but it now Martimeau is more like in general, like in kindergarten or whatever, in early childhood education. So, or in general, let's say in general for personal growth, because Martimeau now is even in the field of couple therapies, for example, or couple counseling, or like family counseling, or whatever, or school counseling. So there are a lot of new fields of Martimeau at the moment. Um, just one, and this what I am talking about is one article, especially one article. It's very new. It's from the. It's a little bit funny because it is published at the 31st of December. So I think like two hours before the new year. So this article, and I will put it in the end, and because there's you can have it as a PDF too, as an English article about Martimeau, and all those kind of sentences are from this article, but I will send it to you at the end. The focus is on relationship. That's very important. That exhibit complementarity. So this is just like parent or mother, for example, and kid, or like client and counselor, whatever. This is mostly given in a dyad relationship where one person is responsible, supports, cares, educates, etc. For example, parents, educators, teachers, carers, and so on. And another person needs his support, i.g., infant, child, adolescent, sick, disabled. It's very common in disabled settings. Dementia sufferer, for example. And this is Arts, Maria Arts, and Bünder. Bünder is one. There are two very famous German, let's say, licensed supervisors and publisher and researchers in Martimeau, and one of them is Bünder, but never know. That's not that important, I think, at the moment. So if we focus on Martimeau, the two principles still characterize Martimeau today. It changed a little bit, so this is today. Don't talk about problems, but look for possibilities. This is, as you see, as said so far, it's resource oriented, and it's very, very solution oriented. So it very fits to for example, I don't know if you know Ben Fuhrman from Finland. We have in Germany in September, we have a huge conference together with Maria Arts and Ben Fuhrman and Haim Omar from Israel, but unfortunately it's in German again. So if you don't speak German, it's not worth coming to Cologne. If you speak German, it's absolutely come, because the three of them, Maria Arts, Ben Fuhrman, and Haim Omar, they are very, very just like solution orientated. And that's what Maria says here. Don't talk about problems, but look for possibilities. And show in the video film. Don't explain. And this is very, very, very important. I try to explain how Martimeau works just in little sentences, because it's not that easy. But for example, if there's a mother or a father and they say, oh, we have difficulties with our kid, let's say, I don't know, 4 years old or whatever. And then the Martimeau therapist says, Okay, could you film, could you make videos of something like all day situations at home, playing or eating or teeth breathing or whatever? So they make some little films like videos, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, doesn't have to be longer. And those videos are sent to the Martimeo therapist, and they will look at it, and they look closely at the things that work. So they don't look at problems, they just look at little things that works. And then these like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, whatever, these like video clips, they will be the main focus in the counseling. They just look and then they say, okay, now you can see how is your kid reacting when you're looking in his eyes, for example. And because of that, then the parents see, you're not just talking about something, you see, oh yes, if I look in his eyes, he will recognize me and then he will answer or whatever he was doing. So and they see it works, I can do it, and not just like imagine and I try but and I want to change my behavior, like and I want to change my education or whatever. So they see it, and then the multimedia therapist says, okay, see it works here, maybe you can try it more times, and where you can try it, and it's very concrete. So maybe this is a good example. Maria Arts would probably hit me if I just speak about Martimeo or not showing films, but I'm not a Martimeo therapist, so I can do that. Okay, just one sentence concerning to that. Instead of giving advice, the aim was to us to use short video recordings of everyday situations, as I told you, to identify in detail, very in detail, what is positively present, and above all, what can be done in concrete terms. That's it. Maybe I tell you just like and one example, what is very impressive. I think there was a very young baby. I don't think it's older than 2 or 3 months. So, and it was very hard because the mother, she didn't plan this kid, and she was very tough situations and so on. And she said that she's not able to communicate with her baby. And then they made this video, and they said just like there was just half a second, not even half a second, third of a second, there was one like they she looked at this baby and it looked back, as I told us just like 5 minutes ago. But and then like, do you know babies, they can do it like all they just like with the arms and in the legs, and so, and you can see it's just like whoo. And there was just like this third of a second video, and that was shown to the mother because she was in so many counseling and therapies, and she just like had no idea if she can handle it, the situation. But at the Matameo situation, she saw that she's able to handle it, that she's able to make a positive communication with her baby. So this is maybe another example, and I think it's a good one. So last for this slide, selected video clips were used to show parents how well they support their child in these situations, as I told you. Okay, so I think I just have 2 slides more to Martimeo, and then like 3 or 5 to concerning to the research. They were encouraged to make greater use of these approaches in everyday life and to practice them step by step. So this is very detailed, step by step. So maybe they meet every 2 weeks, or maybe every week that you have a counseling with Martimeo, and then you always have to film, make videos again, and the Martimeo therapist will look at these videos and will just like find some situations, and then those will be practiced step by step. So this is very basic. This enables them to strengthen and develop their existing educational skills that they have. Of course they have, but they don't know that they have them. Martimeo is a very structured, as I told you, a video-based interaction analysis. It's very analyzing, of course, and it provides parents and professionals, so we can work with parents and professionals, educators, carers, whatever, with detailed and practical information, very practical information, on how to support the child's social, emotional, and communicative development in daily interaction situations. And we will see in the research that there's a really very structured education. It's not just a counseling program, it's even an educational model. Let's say it's something like that. Okay, and the aim, this of course is important. The aim of the Martimeo program is to identify, activate, and further develop supportive daily interaction that promote the child's development. So that is because I think it fits to the topic of our webinar today, the development of psycho-identification. So, and now the aim of the study, the present study we did, and this was a research program for the last, well, I don't really know, 4.5 years or 5 years, something like that. So it's a really huge research program. And the aim was to establish a basic and detailed starting point for future research, because Martimeo is not very good research at the moment, as I told you, on the application and the enhancement of Martimeo in practice, counseling, and therapy. I think we should not discuss today, maybe we can discuss it some other days, what is the difference between counseling and therapy, for example. It's very interesting and it's very specific. In Great Britain, for example, the association is like psychotherapy and counseling. In Germany, for example, it's very, very divided. So the psychotherapy is very different to counseling. So, but I don't know, maybe we can discuss this now or later or whenever. Okay. So for them, and I know it's just like maybe a few of you are interested in those kind of designs, like research design. It's like exploratory sequential design, what is like mixed method design. And I don't go further in this, but we have a few phases, and we have like first systemic literature review. I think this is not very new, although in counseling, it's often not a systemic literature review. So this is that because of that, we published that too. And then we had 2 phases of qualitative designs, like interviews and analysis, interviews with Martimeo therapists or with educators and with parents who were clients in the field of Martimeo counseling. And then phase 3, it was like videotaped observations. We just we had a lot of hours of videotaped observations in kindergarten, for example. So we just make videos of the interaction between the educators and a group of kids in the kindergarten. And then we try to find out, I can't go in deep, but try to find out what are the Martimeo interactive elements and how do the kids react on those elements. So this is really base research, let's say it's like this. And then phase 4 was a quantitative phase, online survey and analyze. And of course, phase 5, then interpretation of all of those like steps or phases. Just like two let's figures to that, and because the use of Martimeo is very interesting, because the application of Martimeo it's not just like counseling or therapy, it's in everyday situation, as I told you. For example, when a teacher or an educator in a kindergarten, if they have like a further training in Martimeo, then they work, for example, with the parents of the kids, like Martimeo, like video-based, but they also use Martimeo models in their everyday education. So this is very special and very, very important, I think, to know. For collegial things, for example, as supervisor or in teaching. So this is, as you see, in person where they use it. And now, this is especially, I think we don't have to look at if it's 3, 4, or 5 strengths of consent. It's just like, that doesn't matter. But here we see in Martimeo, there are 5 interactive elements, and those the 5 at the left side, you see it: naming initiatives, perceiving initiatives, confirming initiatives, directing and leading, and alternating. That just one is talking and then the other alternating. And those 5 are the basic elements. And it was very interesting to make research on that, because, for example, confirming and perceiving initiatives wasn't that easy to make differences. So maybe this is one one result that the Martin-Meyer model could be like developed, because it's not that easy to find those differences. And this is very important for Martin-Meyer. They have, it's called meta elements, and the meta elements are the right one, the two, appropriate tone and constructive dialogue technique. Maybe it sounds a little bit like not concrete, but it is if you go a little bit further in it. And we try to find those basic and meta elements and basic interaction elements of Martin-Meyer in the concrete situation. And of course, when the parents had a Martin-Meyer counseling, we try to find them afterwards. And all that, of course, you remember, the aim is at the development of the kids' communication skills, for example. So I think this is the last slides, and then that's it. You got it. Then let's say the conclusion, but maybe it's not a real conclusion. But the results of the work showed that Martin-Meyer is perceived as beneficial by its implementers. So that was almost everybody said that they had just like further education in Martin-Meyer or whatever, and they said it was very, very worth so beneficial by its implementers. The second one, the experts reported more joy and success in their work. And I don't know if you know, there's not many research on joy. Maybe there should be more, but experts reported more joy and success in their work. And I was very, very happy about that, let's say, result of the research. And especially in the pedagogical context, as I told you, the daily resource-oriented Martin-Meyer view. So not just like the model or not just the counseling, the Martin-Meyer view, the very solution, the very resource-oriented view that was sharpened by the training seems to be essential, as it allows for an awareness of the needs and the interaction partners, the beneficial interaction elements. So the awareness of the needs of the interaction partners. I like that a lot. And last but not least, moreover, for some respondents, the use of Martin-Meyer seems not to be limited to professional practice, but is expressed in a general humanistic attitude towards interpersonal relationship of all kinds. And probably you recognize a little bit similar like that. When I'm teaching counseling students, I always think, okay, and then there was like examples, of course, of counseling, and we said, and we can benefit in my own partnership, in my own education, in my own friendship, and so on. So this is like a lot of really, I think almost everybody of the over 100 participants of the online survey, they said we did benefit in relationships of all kinds. And I think this is a very, very good kind of result. Let's say it like this. Okay, I think that's just okay. This is the article. So if you're interested in it's open access. So it's a free PDF. I wrote this article with Sophia Nettersheim. She was a student at our university. She's great. And Charles Deutsch, who was our visiting professor, he was senior researcher in Harvard University, and he's an expert in mixed methods. So it was very, very good to have him in the team. And minus Katrin, that's my wife, and she's a supervisor, Martin-Meyer supervisor, and going to be a licensed supervisor soon, probably. And she's the expert in Martin-Meyer, and I'm just a researcher, to say that again. Yeah, that's my part. How long was it? Was it too long? I don't know.
Oh, no, it's great.
Okay, Ivana, you're the moderator. I just stopped the screen sharing. So should we just
we can ask you everything after the second presentation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, great. Just a second. I'm not the Zoom expert, but I think I can do it.
Yeah, yes, you can.
Share screen. You can see it?
Yes. Great.
Great. Okay. I would like to start by presenting ability to tolerate frustration in general. It is one of the abilities that is necessary for capacity to love and work, as Freud said. So I'm also, as you can see, a psychodynamic and integrative counselor and psychotherapist. So I also like and love Gestalt, Dirk. And I'm trying to say it properly on German, Gestalt.
Okay, very good.
I'm trying. Okay. First, frustration intolerance produces anxieties connected to the failure to tolerate counter-reaction. We can verbalize it often like, I cannot stand this. It's too much for me. I can't do this. It's overwhelming. Without well-developed frustration tolerance, a person is not immune to inevitable life frustration. Hence, work and love capabilities are underdeveloped, and the person cannot stand to work and or to relate to others under pressure. It's some kind of Achilles heel. We all have some specific Achilles heels, and our job is to find which one, so we can try not to have problem with it. So Achilles heel is specific frustration one could not tolerate. It's followed by anxieties, and often we verbalize it like this is must not happen, or what if this and this happens. So a specific frustration intolerance, anxieties connected to the failure to tolerance counter-reaction could be categorized in many multiple criteria. Today, we have a classical psychoanalytic drive theory. In psychoanalytic drive theory, frustration are organized around psychosexual development stages, and we have three. First, as you may know, oral frustration. Oral frustration is connected to receptive and protection needs in general. Everything connected to a need to have all the time protection and love. And a second one is anal frustration regarding autonomy, retentiveness, and ownership. I have to have something. I'm always counting what I have give to someone or someone to me. And in the end, phallic frustration, exhibitionistic frustration, rivalry frustration, and similar. So, narcissistic needs frustration, intolerance are recognized as narcissistic hypersensitivity, especially toward narcissistic injuries, the grandiose self, and injuries toward idealized objects. As you know, idealized parental imago. Anxieties from this realm are known as narcissistic anxieties and are related to feelings of shame and some kind of state of worthlessness in its core. But when you talk with someone who have narcissistic frustration intolerance, you can hear like something like, no one is like me, I'm the best, you all are behind me. But in the core of the soul psyche, you can hear, you all are better than me, I'm not good enough, and that's the frustration I'm running. Okay, and we can see, and maybe it's going to be more clear, in some specific frustration intolerance problem. For example, we can say it's some kind of play, unconscious play of him or she, and we can call it seduce, not to be seduced. What is the story behind this behavior? It's she or he is the main event of every gathering. It's friendly, open person. She or he is always with a smile. Everything is fine. You can always talk with that person. Always open. Always. That's the point in this story. And you can say she is the one to let you easy in her life. Like we can be friends very quickly. I can understand you, and he can, but it's always and it's overwhelming in some way. She or he open to relationship, partnership, friendship, tactic, seduce, not to be seduced. So let's see what is behind. Under the facade, there is a child afraid of pain and losing. Maybe, you know, it's some kind of dilemma. I need you, but I fear you. So I want to be in some intimate relationship with someone, but I'm afraid. So this is the way I handle stuff. The real function of seduction is not the seduction itself, but examining the environment for potential dangers. Maybe you can hurt me. Maybe you're going to do something to hurt me. For example, sexual behavior is actually a defense against sexuality, or friendly behavior is defense against sincere friendship, against the idea that it would hurt if it stopped going this way. So the character of openness as a defense against opening up, very wise, unconscious, but wise. Another skillful tactic of the unconscious to hide the essence of on the most visible place where no one will see it. I'm a friendly person. I don't have problem with love or friendship. No one will know. That is just the facade. The facade calls us that as soon as you get close, the person will run away. With a good reason. That's the tactic. Therefore, where there is more, for example, friendship, relationship, when it's too much of something, we can say there is also less, but behind the scenes. We have scene, we have play, but behind it, we see the problem. The problem is called need, fear, dilemma. I am afraid of intimacy, but I like and I love relationship. So we have example of one concrete frustration and how we can manage it. Of course, this is just one way, we have more, but maybe this is most interesting because you maybe never say that someone have a problem if it's always open and calls you friendship or love. Okay, but we have more. Why is this important? The initiative is always blocked or immature if we have not developed a frustration tolerance, psych immunity. So without the maturity of initiative, a person is reactive without the key of their psychological engine. Initiative is some kind of engine for our psych. A person with underdeveloped initiative needs always someone else to get her move forward. We all need someone sometimes. This is the case where we need all the time for something. They are afraid to independently commit themselves to a goal and not just commit, stand for it for a long time. So if we want initiative, we have to work on our psych immunity. We have to tolerate frustration better or more. But we have more reasons. Why is this important? It's very hard to live, to love, to work without fully developed processing capabilities, emotional processing capabilities, and frustration tolerance is one of them. The preeminent element that creates the therapeutic counseling change is the one that empowers the client to develop or unblock the mentioned emotional capabilities. That's our job as a client and as a counselor or psychotherapist. Techniques in counseling are sorted by their ability to develop or unlock a certain capability in a particular developmental phase. That part is important. First, we have to know where is the problem. And after that, we can think about techniques and other knowledge about us and people so we can fix it or help with unblocking. Okay. And I want to mention something else, not to forget, like some note to ourselves. Denial as a defense mechanism, one of many. What is the screenplay name, if I can say something like that, is what do you know and do not feel, you cannot change. So we can say, one would say that some things around us are so obvious, maybe this kind of problem, and that is impossible not to see them. But as you know, it is possible. But how? That's the question. By abusing denial mechanism that allows us not to see. Abuse because, as with other mechanisms, each sometimes comes in handy. We need them. But how much? That's the question. When reality becomes painful, a psychological anesthesia, denial, is there to save or to help us. Not to see something and or not to feel something. Just like the physical one. It helps us endure the inevitable and prepare for what is coming. But if we allow ourselves to entire anesthesia all the time, to every sign of pain, we are no longer in the process of healing. We are in the process of creating a new problem. So imagine going into anesthesia every time we have a headache or toothache because it's unbearable. No, it's not unbearable. Maybe it's hard, but not unbearable. So we would become all the time non-conscious. And that is exactly what is happening if we are using denial mechanism all the time. I know it's hard, but I think this is harder in general. In the moment is always better, but in general, no. Okay, that's denial mechanism. We have more. I want to mention one more. As you know, repression. Repression as a defense mechanism. Dirk mentioned something, joy and pleasure, and I want to mention and talk about it some more. Fear of pleasure, we can say in general, of course, is fear of pain. We all, more and less, of course, growing up, we learn to deal with pain, sadness, fears, frustration, loss by suppressing. Okay, we were just little kids. We don't have enough immunity then. Now we have, so that's why this is important. The more we suppress these feelings, the more we reduce our capacity for pleasant feelings. Joy, like pleasure, love, motivation, creativity, and so on. Insights change life, can hurt. All know that, but by numbing ourselves for pain, we also numb for pleasure. So I find this sentence somewhere, I don't know, but you cannot break a stone, but you also cannot warm it. So sometimes we don't want to be the stone. We want to be a stone because we don't want someone to break us. But we have some price to pay for that. I think it's very big. But we have freedom to decide. But we have freedom when we know this. So we can regain the capacity for pleasant feelings if we let go and experience the painful ones as well. The pain is there to warn us. Of course, sometimes it's not just some bad thing, but it is also there to repair the injuries, frustration injuries, and integrate our personality. So that's the price. It hurts when we get some wound in any part of our life, especially, and it hurts while we clean it and heal it, or while we are on therapy or counseling, because that is some kind of cleaning and healing our wounds. Okay, and not to forget, whenever you run from pain, be aware that you are also running for pleasure. Of course, I have this part, we need to mention that that doesn't mean we should chase pain like masochistic character. In fact, it's other story. They are not incapable of facing the pain within himself, so she projects the pain into external environment. That's not our story. We talk about something else. Pain that is developmentally legit is that which comes from honesty, confronting oneself and one's experience. So maybe that's the most important part we have. It could be confronting our frustration, but we have to know them first. In ourselves, not in the world. We know that all the time. What is frustration from another place? So without it, there is no pleasure. And the therapeutic process can be painful, of course. It requires returning to experiences and emotions that you may have been anxious to leave behind. It's paradoxal, it sounds paradoxal, but you can only leave them after you approach them. You can feel the pleasure only after you approach the pain. The escape from pleasure is actually an attempt not to pay the price that is paid. Everything that is available is expensive. So joy, love, and authentic self. So maybe it's not that big price when you know what you're going to have, but we choose. So let it be. It's something like oh, sorry. And maybe you recall the melody because I was by writing this. So it's hard, yeah, but we know why we are doing that. So let it be my main theme of this presentation. Conclusion. I have only some thank you from some countries, but maybe you can help me with another.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ivana. It was great. Wow.
I hope it wasn't too fast. I wanted to tell you all so much, but I hope I managed to do some part of it.
I think it was fast, but I think it was great. So excited. If you end your screen sharing, then we have.
I'm trying. I'm really trying.
And stop it. There's a red button. There's a green. Do you see it?
Here. Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
So I switch it. If you like to switch on your video, you can. Of course you can, but maybe it's a good time to do it right now. But you don't have to. So we are 31 participants. That's great. Welcome those who are late. But Ivana, you are the moderator. So you just like I have a lot of questions, but maybe all the others too. So would you like to start the discussion or whatever?
Yeah. Do you have any questions? Now is the time. For me? You're processing, maybe. Still processing. No? First time?
Who's brave and this question? Or do you, maybe you disagree, maybe you don't have a question, but you disagree or you agree?
Yeah, have some ideas, not questions. I'm a psychodynamic therapist, so I know, and I can be in silence for a long time. So just to let you know, this is not a problem for me. Everyday job.
Okay, I have one question. I came here late, sorry for that. So my question is, I'm wondering if I can use this approach in a more not therapeutical way, you know what I mean, but more like in a counseling way, because right now I'm doing this systemic counseling training by Dirk, and I just want to know if, I don't know, I saw some similarities or things I can maybe adapt for my way to practice it in my counseling. But yeah, Mate Meo is more for, I would say, clinical or therapeutical way of working, or would you disagree?
I answer first, but then Ivana, you can answer too, because I think Mate Meo is in many settings usable, because of course it was developed first in like special education, disabled kids situation, whatever. But now, as I said, it's just like in almost all situations, even couple therapy, you can work with Mate Meo. So not just clinical. And because of that, we integrate Mate Meo in the systemic further education, because we think it fits. and it fits in the attitude and in the way of working. So I would say in both, in clinical and like pedagogic or educational or whatever fields there are. So, but this was it a question just like just concerning Matemeo or concerning the integrative and the aspects Ivana were talking about?
Oh, sorry, I was talking about the aspects of from Ivana from this approach. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah. Okay.
answer. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just theoretical. It's very practical.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
yeah, of course, you can use in many fields. This was just a general story telling
Mm-hmm.
about this, but yeah, we are integrative approach. That means every technique we found in every approach. We are always thinking why is good for example, frustration tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
I use it. Of course, I have theory behind that, not just using some techniques because it's fun or creative. We always have to know why we use some technique. But we know that only if we know theory behind that.
Mm-hmm.
And if we can find exact Achilles heel, exact frustration in our clients.
Okay.
And after that, everything is easy, not easy, but
More
can
easy.
be
Easier. Okay.
And Ivana, can you tell us, because I remember when we met in Malaga, it's long ago, then you talked about the feelings and written on the balloons, and because this is maybe an example or something else, an example for how do we integrate this in like training programs?
balloons.
Yeah, for example, I don't know, you have just other examples.
Oh, we talked about so many techniques. Yeah, I know about balloons. Yeah, but it was for initiative, I think.
Okay, yeah.
I'm overwhelming with memories now, but I think it's more for initiative
Okay.
when we want something and like some wish list, but it's significant to let go of the balloon because that means you want something. It's very important for you, but you have immunity, frustration, tolerance, and you are ready to have answer no, that's not for you right now. So I'm not just like I have to have it and give me that. No, I want it, but I'm ready to let go and see, is it time, or maybe the life says no, not right now, it's Corona time, you can go to Malaga again, for example, and you are not pissed or angry at the world. You say, okay, that's it, maybe I'm sad. Now it's time to talk about my feelings. I will stop. But the point is, I can handle it. I'm fine with that because that's another song.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah. Maybe it fits here, so I go on, but then all the others have time, of course, because you said experience the painful feelings as well. And I think this is, of course, we talked about that, but maybe we can talk about that in this group, because I mean, the COVID-19 situation is of course some kind of painful or like desperation or like be afraid of and not having those kind of like friendship and be physical like hugs or something like that. So maybe this is just this is not a question, it's just like a door opener for like communicating right now maybe about this, because I think I was really excited about your presentation, Ivana, because I always think, okay, yeah, this is true, and it's true right now. So I don't know if anybody else wants to add or.
Yeah, we have to denial sometimes. Maybe it's too much for me and I want to believe Corona is over tomorrow. Okay, today I want to believe in that. And sometimes it's fine, of course, if we are overwhelmed. But, every day one day by day, it can be a big problem because I'm not in touch with reality anymore after many days. And that can be painful, long terms. But if we know more about our pain, maybe we can share it with people and maybe they can feel better. Okay, Zoom, maybe WhatsApp and whatever, Skype. But I feel my pain and I share it. So
Yeah.
no stress.
Okay, Christiane again.
Sorry,
Yeah,
but
no,
I,
No, sorry.
okay.
one.
I actually do have a question. With denial, do you mean like resignation? Like when you're not feeling anything anymore and you're like, I'm completely without, like emotionless?
Not really. Denial, like when you know you have some problem.
Mm.
For example, right now, you have a problem, you have some conflict about something or someone, and you know it, it's not repression, you know about that, but you say, okay, let's see what is on Facebook, or let's play
Okay.
some game, or you know it, it's not repression, but like Scarlett O'Hara, I'm going to think about that tomorrow, something like that. You know the problem, but you choose not to deal with it.
Ah, okay.
More
Yeah, I get it.
unconscious.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Repression is second. You are not aware of the problem when you repress.
Okay.
Okay, some more questions or comments or let's go. Maria, is this in the, do you want, you have to remute. Please switch on your, or you are just like, we can't hear you, Maria, you have to switch on your microphone on the left bottom.
Yeah, we have the same problem.
Okay, I had a technical problem at the first part of your presentation, the one about Martin Mio, yes. And I don't know, it was I was interrupted. I couldn't see you or listen to you, but then I came back in, and I'm just wondering, does this method always involve video?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, because I lost some of the part. Okay.
At least in this, in the ideal form. So Maria says you always have to use videos to, like counseling method Martimeo, to use that. Okay. But Martimeo is also, there was one of our research results that they use the Martimeo view. So they look at the kids in another way, in a very constructive and solution-oriented and resource-oriented way. So it's a little bit more, but the model is like video-based. That's true. Yeah. But if you missed the beginning, I don't know if you know, in the chat I put the presentation. Maybe you can do that too, Ivana. But we can send it afterwards, or we can put
afterwards. Yes, I lost a part in between.
In between.
So I think yes, I think I can.
Okay,
I can
we'll send it.
Participate now. Yes, I think it seems very interesting. Yeah, because it's also, you can use it also like a game. You know, the video. It's very interesting. It's okay.
That's true. Yeah. Okay. Is there any other comment, question? I switch to the next side. I don't know if you are more than 25, then Zoom is not possible to put them on one side, at least in mine. So I look at the other ones.
Yeah, I'm looking at the comments.
If you have a question, just switch on your microphone. That's possible.
Yeah, I would have another question.
Okay.
So I'm one of Dirk's students at the University of Cologne, and you just mentioned that that we all somehow grow up with or learning to suppress negative feelings like fear and sadness. And that somehow indicates that everybody has some kind of problem to navigate negative feelings and then also somehow positive feelings. And so we reduce the capacity for pleasant feelings, like you explained. And I was wondering if you maybe could further comment on that, because that indicates that everybody is somehow deeply struggling with negative and positive feelings. So
no, not that deeply strong. It don't have to be deeply, and it don't have to be a big pain, big repression. But yeah, always we have some pain. We have denial it. Maybe I'm thirsty right now. It's some kind of pain in general. But I say to myself, okay, for me, it's more important to talk with you right now, for example, and that's not the problem. That's just part of life, of course. We always deny some things because we don't have, I don't know, time, energy, whatever to handle it all the time, but we don't have to. This is just related to the things we have problem with, not everyday life and everything in life. So yeah, we always repress something or denial something, but okay, it don't have to be a problem. You only deal with things you have a problem in life. For example, like this girl or guy from presentation, I want love, but I have fear and need. Okay, then you talk about your pain. But if you're feeling great or good, don't have to know it. I'm not sure is that answer to your question.
Yeah, totally. Thank you. So there are, for some people, it's like worse or more complicated than for others. Like, and we have to distinguish between rather emotional areas and like everyday situations where we have to identify what is more important right now, and then we say, okay, I don't need to do this right now, I can do this later, etc.
Yeah, we can choose. Yeah, but sometimes I hear people talking or about be happy every day, everything's fine, life is great. Yeah, I also think it's great, and I also think it's great to be happy. But I think it's not life true. It's not true. Also, it's true that we have problems. Yeah, I don't have to think about problems and pain all the time, but sometimes, yeah, we all do, because that is important for us.
Very, very interesting. I think we, I don't know if you know that Abraham Maslow said there's a hierarchy of needs, so like a pyramid, but I don't think so. I think we have it all in the same time. We have all so different needs and we have so different feelings in the same time. And this is the kind of like fight in our head or in our heart or wherever. So I think this is very, very interesting to talk about frustration then. So it was very inspiring. Fadi, you have a question or a comment?
Yes. First, thank you for your presentation. It was very nice. I thought about your feelings or the other question. Is there a shame to show these bad feelings? Sometimes, if you want to cry, but you can't cry in the public or something like that, can you say something to it?
You said you can't cry in public.
No.
Why not?
Maybe.
Why not?
I didn't
No, not you.
that.
Okay,
Not me.
someone.
If someone don't want to show these bad feelings, so is there shame behind that, or is there what do you think about that? So why someone don't want to show these feelings?
Okay, maybe we can put it like this. I have one need to be good for all you and other people. That's my narcissistic needs. It's not a bad word, of course. Narcissistic, we have pathological and the good one. Okay, but I want to be some kind of picture for other people, yeah. And for that picture, I can cry in public. For that, I can't. I have to be, I don't know, something else. And I have a need to cry. I'm sad. I have need to cry. I have need to be good for all others. I don't know what do you choose. But if you choose this one, sorry, if you choose this one, maybe you can think about it, is that your authentic need? If so, okay. Or you think it's important because you have some injuries in that area, narcissistic ones. And if you choose not to cry because, I don't know, maybe some company is there, you don't want it, you want to suppress, maybe it's not the time, why not? But why not? Because I don't know what is good for you. But I think it's good to know what we are doing and to choose. That's freedom, isn't it?
Wow, it's very interesting. I think it's a very, very good question, Fadi, because I would say every need or every feeling is combined with another. For example, with shame. Maybe I feel sadness, but at the same time, I am ashamed about feeling sadness, or maybe even about laughing, be very happy, and there's a little bit shame, and as Ivana said in her presentation, and it's always combined with fear. I have fear that I have too many feelings, or I'm too sad, or whatever. And so this is very, very interesting to have this and to be aware of those things. And as Ivana said, there's always a price and a benefit. So if I have all these like inner dialogues between fear and needs and feelings and shame and whatever, and then I act like whatever, and then I say, okay, I pay a price and I have some benefit, and to be aware of this. And of course, this is not a solution yet, but it's yeah. Thank you for that question, Fadi. Great.
Thank you. Yeah, we choose. That's important. Freedom to choose.
Yes.
Not to do because I have some symptoms and problems and unconsciously they are choosing life for me. No, I'm choosing.
Yeah, great.
I'm paying and getting.
Okay, next question or whatever, or comment.
I would like to comment.
Yeah, Katerina.
For this connection about feelings and the needs, and always we have a feeling because one need is not fulfilled or is fulfilled. Is that correct? Because I'm feeling sad because one need is not my need for go outside is not fulfilled.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, Ivana, what's your answer?
Definitely yes, but I'm thinking, is there something more? Is that just I have or don't have something? Maybe we have something more. Processing. Oh, but definitely yes, yeah, it's connected
to
to
dynamic approach is leading you what is behind this feeling or this need. Is this what you mean, that there is always something behind? It's not only a feeling, it's not only a need, it's also something else.
Not maybe not behind, but something else. I think this is a better, yeah. But I think so.
Yeah, maybe not behind. Yeah, maybe not behind. I'm psychodynamic, but not always behind, maybe someone else.
I mean, for example, in the transactional analysis, they would say maybe sadness is your favorite feeling, but maybe there's some, and I would say not behind, but there's some feeling next to the sadness, maybe anger or shame or whatever. So this is, I would say, there's maybe not not in any situation there's just one feeling. So, but
yeah, it's never clear, so clear for us, or for us when we are feeling it. Sometimes I talk with clients, they're crying, and I ask them, what do you feel? Because I'm not sure, you're crying, but maybe you're not sad, maybe you feel something else. And sometimes, no, I'm not sad, I'm angry. I'm hopeless, for example, but I'm crying. It's a mix, and we have to see why.
It seems for me quite difficult to switch from the side that I'm used to follow my life like this, okay, to feeling sad, to react like this in my problems, and to what I was in the presentation for Maria for this model, Marte Mio, about to achieve something by my own efforts is the essence of this approach. I don't know how it's possible to be achieved this. And I'm not talking that I want to question this approach, but how is it possible one person to switch this from what is used for all his life to a more positive, the ideal? Don't talk about problems, but look for possibilities. I don't know how it's possible to make this difference in someone's life.
me either.
Okay. That's why we are here.
I think there's not an easy or simple answer to the question. I don't think so. So it's
okay. Thank you.
So this is maybe one of my critical points to Marte Mio, that Marte Mio is a little bit too simple, because it says, okay, there are 5 interaction and elements, and they are working for all kids in all time. And of course, it's not like this. Like as counselor, we know it's not a one we can fit on all. For example, if there's a kid who's really, really, I don't know, like never says anything, then it would be better in the educational model to support him to go to be more and another one just the opposite. So and I think that's the same in all settings, so not just educational. So that's the answer. Sorry for that, I have no answer.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Maybe someone else.
I would like to maybe comment. Yeah, well, what I thought about this discussion right now is that I think that the feelings are culturally conditioned. We tend to feel as we learned. So sometimes we don't really realize that those feelings aren't really ours, but they are the ones that are in the culture. They are present, they are there. So for example, in my culture, there are like many superstitions and many traditions that one has to follow, for example, as a woman. But when I left my country after a couple of years and after self-searching, I got to the point where I understood that some thoughts and some feelings weren't really mine. So it kind of helped me to set myself free from this. So I think maybe some self-search would help one to get to that point.
Yeah, thank you. Very, very, very good point, I think. Very important. Yes, absolutely. So this is cultural, and this is man and female and so on. So this is a lot of very different like cultural things. And then, yeah, thank you. Probably there's no one who disagrees, or is there? I mean, there would be good discussion if there anyone, but Maria. Maria, would you put your microphone on, please?
Microphone.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I think some people perhaps that are born with the talent of using their own resources, confronting life and life's difficulties. But if you don't have this talent, it is important that someone, like you said, gives you the initiative or shines towards those resources, the good resources of yourself. Of course, the good, you have to find out which is. I mean, they're not the same for everyone, for anyone.
Yeah.
But I think it's, if this method works, it doesn't work for everyone. But if it works for some people, it's a good thing. I mean, it's difficult to find a technique, but if there is a technique that can shine the positive resources of your own self, it's very important to find it.
Yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
That's a difficult task, but with the help of perhaps a good therapist or with a lot of reading, or with, each one has to find its own way to do it. But it's a good thing to find it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I like the energy we are building. Very nice idea.
Yeah, we have a few minutes left. Is there something concerning this or another topic? Is there? If maybe if there's any question concerning the European Association, maybe, I don't know if there is, it's possible to talk
after
about
this life and love and emotions.
Great.
Why not?
I would like to ask something.
Yeah, Katarina, okay, yes, go for it.
Do you have an intention to organize something like this, but not only for presentation, only for discussion around psychotherapy, counseling, exchange ideas?
Yes, we do. At least my vision was the huge conference, and I would like to invite everybody and meet there and discuss and have some panels and so on. So hopefully after the COVID-19 situation, we will do that. On the other hand, we have on the website of the European Association, we have those kind of comments, and we can discuss over there. So this could be another format. Then we want to go on with the webinars. So as I told, everybody is invited to have some presentations. Just write an email to us. And so this is maybe some answer. Ivana, do you have something to add?
I think this is, I feel this is a good start for everything you said. So this is the first step.
Yes.
I thank you for this. I think it was very good to start like this. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, so is there maybe you can if there is there any comments to the webinar today? Is there anything you want to say? What we should change, or what was good? Was just not an evaluation, but something like feedback.
Can I say again? Sorry. For me, it was very good because it was the main points of each of you, okay, the presentation. It was not tiring at all. Only the good points, and was in the whole. For me, it was very complete webinar. It was not tiring. It was. It focused in the very main points of these approaches.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and I would like also to thank you. Okay. It's the first year I'm a member, and I'd like you to thank you, and also to thank you for the opportunity. If we have any ideas to do something like that again, I think it's a very good start and a very good, it's an opening. It's something very nice. Yes, and congratulations for your efforts, and thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Okay, something
Oh, hearts. I didn't see that on Zoom. Great.
We just could change or whatever. Should
Yeah, I have to find this heart for next time so I can reply for next webinar.
It's under reactions.
yeah,
If
reaction.
you look at the bottom where it says reactions.
Yes.
Opa.
Yeah, you got it. Okay.
I did it.
Thank you for that. Technical advice.
Great.
Okay, so I would like, because this is Mate Meo too, to have a strict end and strict start and have like coffee's cooking the dog, it's talk like. And so I would say thank you to all of you that you joined. It was great. It was, I think, was yeah, something like a group feeling somehow even. And this is not that. So I thank you very much, Ivana. Of course, it was a pleasure again. And so see you wherever, maybe in Athens at the conference or at the next webinar or wherever. Okay, so have a good afternoon, a good weekend, and and stay healthy, of course, and good luck for it.
Same to you.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
See you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.